What's up, crew? Wait, what? This is a raw vlog, and I don't know which one it is. I think it's raw vlog 17. Raw vlogs are normally recorded live in front of a steering wheel on my way to getting my Friday morning coffee, and then delivered directly from the camera to you, raw and unedited. If it's not already clear, we are a day back, and we have a special guest in the house. Woo! In the truck. So, yeah, we're gonna do a quick channel update, and then we're gonna have a kind of an interview with Kelly today. You know Kelly. Kelly's been on some of my videos. She even took over the channel at one point, so we're gonna do it that way. The reason we didn't have the channel news, the reason we didn't have the raw vlog yesterday was I had the pins pulled out of my arm, or out of my wrist, and now I have this cool like exo brace, and I was actually in quite a lot of pain on that Friday morning. I even called in sick, so I just wasn't doing anything that day. I'll give you more updates on the wrist and whatnot later, but since right now we are on our way to the path because it's new bike day for Kelly. It's in a weird way, we can talk about that at some point maybe, but some circumstances led to basically Kelly getting a new frame, and yeah, so we're on our way down to the Path Bike Shop to do that. So I figured this would be a really good opportunity to talk to Kelly. You've seen her on the videos, and I thought it's nice to just kind of let you know a little bit more about Kelly. And so we're gonna do a little focused conversation on getting started mountain biking, maybe a little bit about what it's like to be a woman in mountain biking and starting mountain biking, and then how you've progressed. So I'm going to turn the camera just a little bit. So, Kelly, how long have you been riding?
I have been riding a little over 2 years.
Okay, so 2 years. And then talk a little bit about how you got started.
Well, you were riding about a year longer than I've been riding. So you would go and ride your bike and whatever, that was fine. And before that, you would go skateboard. So I was kind of used to you taking off occasionally and doing some things. And then you did your first race. You did an enduro race at Vale Lake. And, you know, you didn't talk about it like it was a big deal, but I decided to go. So I went, you know, showed up. It was a surprise. And I didn't know where you were. And so I was looking around, and there were so many like women, wives and girlfriends and kids sitting around in chairs at the bottom of the trail, you know, like where the booths and stuff are. And I just didn't like being that crowd. Like, I didn't want to just be a spectator, you know, and just like cheer for you at the bottom. I don't know, like it just didn't feel good for me for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And so I thought, okay, well, you know, maybe I should try it. So that's kind of when I decided, like, let's try it. Who knows? Like, I didn't know if I was going to like it, but
yeah,
I'd give it a shot.
And so I think at that point I had just kind of tentatively seen if you wanted to mountain bike, and then you started showing some interest. And then talk about your first time on a mountain bike.
So I had yoga pants on and tennis shoes, and, you know, what helmet did I have?
You had like the bunch of bananas.
Yeah, a street helmet. Did I have a street helmet? Anyway,
yeah.
I don't remember. We went out with Chad. So Chad used to teach.
That's Average Chad.
Average Chad used to teach mountain biking classes for REI, and so we went out with him, and you know, you did a good job at letting him give me kind of an initial lesson. So we talked about just like body positioning on the bike, and I don't know, you know, how the cockpit works and all that. And we did a little short ride at Santiago Oaks, just like at the bottom. Like, yeah. We didn't really go up the hill.
Right. So we didn't go up like a 2,000 foot fire road climb.
No.
Down a super technical.
No. That would have been bad.
Okay.
Yeah, it was fun. Like I really enjoyed myself, and I was terrible. You know, I felt like I was terrible, but it was fun. Yeah. So.
At the time, we had borrowed Chad's wife's bike, which was really kind of him. And then shortly thereafter, we got a hardtail plus size bike, Diamondback July, I think it was. And then you rode that for a while.
I rode that for a while. I don't know how long I rode that actually.
Close to a year, I think.
I don't even think that long.
Yeah, maybe not that long.
Because I started riding that and just really liked it, really liked riding, and yeah.
So at a certain point, like, you went with me that one time, and I think you and I started going to like the local trails at Holdercrooks and Loma Linda, which have some pretty mellow sections, and like we didn't really go up into the canyons or up onto the ridges too much at first.
Right.
But then at a certain point, you started going by yourself.
Yeah.
And talk about that a little bit.
I'm so scared of getting lost in the wilderness by myself. Like, that is like a legit fear. So when we would ride together, like, I made you ride with me a couple times so that I knew I wouldn't get lost. Like, thinking about Holdercrooks now, I'm like, that's so silly, but I didn't want to be lost, right? And then once I knew how to get to like the tree, then I was like, okay, I'm good. I could go ride by myself. And then I would just go ride, and I would just like pick something to work on, or pick a section to like session, and, you know, just.
Yeah, so why were you doing that though?
I wanted to get better.
Okay.
You know, like there were times that felt really fun on the bike, and it was like I wanted more of that. You know, and you know, we would watch videos, or we'd watch, and it would just be like, yeah, I just wanna get better.
Yeah.
And then even that first season, I started riding at Snow Summit, and you know, started doing some of the green and like going green, and then like turtle, and then started riding some of the backside stuff, and just really liked that.
Fall line, Pirates, Plumbers Fern.
Yeah, although fall line was like at the edge of it was past the edge of my comfort zone that first season, but I still really liked it, and you know.
Yeah, talk about that real quick. So you're saying you like fall line, for instance, really challenged you. It was at the edge of your experience, but you still enjoyed it?
Yes.
Like, you were scared, right? You knew you could get hurt.
Well, and I that first season I never made it down that trail without getting off my bike or falling off my bike. Like, you know, and because it was hard. It was a hard trail. It was still like really challenging for me. But that like excitement, or you know, getting through a section that I hadn't gotten through before, or you know, getting through a section clean, or being able to go a little faster, or I don't know, whatever. Like, those feelings were so rewarding that it was worth it, you know. And the scariness is part of it, you know. That like adrenaline, and that you like that requirement to like be fully present when you're riding your bike, you know, and just like learning to like look ahead a little more, and anticipate things a little more, and picking lines, and like, you know, that was all new, and like I liked it, you know. Yeah.
So what advice would you give to a guy who's got a woman in his life who's maybe interested in mountain biking? Like, what advice would you give that person? Or just a significant other that's got like maybe somebody who just doesn't know anything about it but wants to get into it?
I think it's hard because you forget what it's like when you started, so you forget what it's like for them. And so I don't know. I mean, I know that like things like lessons aren't available everywhere. Like, that may not be something that's accessible to everybody, but I think it was helpful for me to hear things from Chad, and like know that, I don't know, like he wasn't emotionally invested in me being on a bike like you would be. And so he was going to be like, yeah, let's just do, I don't know, like it was less pressure, and it was less stressful. So I don't know if that's an option, but I think that was really helpful for me. And then just like just riding in your comfort zone, like, you know, making sure that you're not pushing your person to do things that they're like really uncomfortable doing, because then they're just gonna hate it right away, and you lose. Everybody loses.
And I probably, we don't have enough time to get into this, but I think the bike and bike setup is really key. I know I spent a lot of time doing research and talking with Chad. You know, at that time, like Chad like had a lot of good resources on bikes, but we really looked at a bike that was going to work really well. A lot of bikes are very like XC oriented, which means that when you point them downhill, they're just really aimed at getting you to go over the bars, which you don't want for your partner, hopefully. But I think that, you know, bike and bike setup is really important too. A whole different
And I
subject.
didn't know anything about that, so that was all you. And I think when we originally got the Bronson, it was way more bike than I needed for what I was riding at the time. I wasn't like using it to what it can do, but I'm really glad we got it because I feel like I've grown into it.
Yeah.
You know, and like it still does everything I need it to do, and I still really like it. And
the new one's gonna do even more.
Yeah, I wasn't planning on getting a new bike so soon because the Bronson like really worked for me.
Yeah.
But you know.
Yeah, now you're like riding Miracle Mile from time to time.
Yeah.
You know. I think that's pretty good. That's good. Thanks, Kelly, for being a guest on the Raw vlog.
You're welcome.
So I do apologize. The sound might not be very great right now just because we've been on the freeway. So apologies for that. So anyway, if you... Oh, really quick, I don't know if you noticed, maybe you saw in the window, but the Stell truck drove by while we were driving, which was
Really?
kind of perfect because that's where I'm always going when we're when we're doing the Raw vlog.
That's
So
funny.
we had all the parts and then some.
And then
So yeah, if you dug this video, hit that like button. If you didn't so much dig the video, hit the comment button. Let me know why. And actually, if you've got similar experiences, if you're just getting started or wanting to get somebody started or got somebody started, please let me know about that in the comments. I like hearing those stories. And if you want to keep seeing videos from the MTB Allen channel, hit that subscribe button.